Hello, my name is Chauncey Allmond. I am the manager of the National Presenter Team, and I'm excited to spend a few minutes with you today to show off the new features of Logos 10. Now, if you have a previous version of Logos, it may look a little different than what you're seeing right now, because again, I'll be highlighting and showing you the new Logos 10. Now, with that said, allow me to share my screen and show you what this great software is all about. Now, what you see here on the screen is the home page. So this is what it looks like when you first click on the icon to open it up. You can see there's what we call a dashboard at the top, where it has a couple of different what we call cards or areas where you can just quickly go straight into a particular book or passage or prayer journal and whatnot that you are studying. So in my particular dashboard, I have a layout, I have a prayer journal, I have a devotional, and a reading plan. So again, I can quickly click on any one of those to launch right into it. Now, at the bottom of the dashboard, you have what we call the Explore section. And in the Explore section, this information changes every day. You get different videos and articles and tips and tricks on how to use Logos. So as you can see, it's just a wealth of information that automatically populates every time you open up Logos. Now, as you can see on the left-hand side, we have a home button, which is where we are right now. We have a library that you can click that will show you all of the books that you have in your Logos library. We have a search feature, which is going to show that a little bit later on. We have the Bible. If you just want to go straight to the Bible, you can do that. We also have what's called a fact book, and I'll show you that in just a few minutes as well. But the fact book is a very special way to go in and look up a particular person or place or thing or anything factual that you want to dive into a little bit deeper. You can quickly go to it with the fact book. The documents menu is a section for any of the documents that you've created or you've saved in Logos. You can quickly click on that to access those, whether or not it be sermons or reading plans or what have you. Also, we have guides and workflows. So this is where you can click to get a kind of a walkthrough where Logos is going to walk you through how to, whether or not it's to do an inductive Bible study or to write a sermon or workflows, which will be step-by-step instructions as to how to study a particular passage or person or any type of theological topic. Then we have the tools section and then a couple of other quick start icons that you can jump right on in, whether that's the Bible, your study Bibles, or any of your other resources that you want to pin there. Now, what I want to do is take a look at how to study a particular book of the Bible. Now, the way you can do it, there's many ways you can do it. The one I'm going to show you here is by clicking into this box at the top left, and you can see it says passage or topic. So what you can do here is just type in a passage or a topic and hit enter, and it'll take you straight to that. So as I mentioned, though, I want to walk through a particular book or how you want to study a particular book. So let's say we wanted to study Ecclesiastes. Okay, so all I have to do is type in ECCLE, and Logos can, fill in the rest. And so it gives you a lot of options. So it's saying, okay, you want to study Ecclesiastes. How do you want to study it? Well, do you want to have a Bible and a commentary open? You can click that and you'll have a split screen with the Bible on the left and the commentary on the right. You can do Bible journaling. So it give you the Bible notes feature, highlighting feature. You can do a passage study layout, which is what we're going to do, and many other options as well. So I just wanted to show you how just by typing in a portion of this particular book of the Bible, Logos asks you a ton of questions as to how you want to study this a little bit deeper. So again, I want to do the passage study layout to Ecclesiastes. So once you click that, all of this information automatically pops up. So what I'm going to do is take just a few minutes to kind of walk you through the passage guide layout in Logos. So this is a great start, the passage guide layout for someone who's new to Logos and just wants to go straight in with the pre-done or pre-set up layout into, in this case, this book of Ecclesiastes. So looking on the left-hand side, I have my resource section, commentaries, parallel passages, and we'll get into that in a little bit more. In the top middle, we have our Bibles. I have the CSB, the ESV, the NIV, and these Bibles opened up because when I first launched Logos, I had the option of telling Logos what is my preferred translation. So I chose the CSB. Again, you can choose whichever your favorite one is. But once you choose your favorite Bible or your preferred Bible, that's always going to come up first whenever you do any type of lookup. I also have the ESV as my second and NIV third. So I prioritize those so that they always come up first for me. Now, down at the bottom, I have the CSB Study Bible Notes. So this is a section where you have your resource materials to go along with your Bible study. So again, we're studying Ecclesiastes. And one of the things I wanted to point out to you, if you look at this first verse, it says the words of the teacher, son of David, king of Jerusalem. That's how the CSB translates this from the original languages. But if I click on the ESV, it says the words of the preacher. Now, mind you, CSB said the words of the teacher. ESV says words of the preacher. NIV also says words of the teacher. Now, let's go back to the CSB a second and look at verse 2. It says absolute futility, says the teacher. Absolute futility. Everything is futile. That's the CSB. Let's look at the ESV. It says, verse 2, vanity of vanities, says the preacher. Vanity of vanities. All is vanity. So just by going between two different Bible translations, it'll help you understand just what the original author was trying to say. So again, CSB uses the word futility, ESV says vanity, NIV says meaningless. Verse 2, meaningless, meaningless, says the teacher, utterly meaningless. So just by having multiple translations of the Bible open at one time, you can easily click through those and see it just help you understand the text that much easier without even jumping into some more word studies, which we're going to look at as well. So that's the Bible section up in the top right-hand portion of the screen. Now, let's say I am reading through verse 1. It says the words of the teacher, son of David, king of Jerusalem. Let's say I'm not too familiar with Jerusalem. I don't know where it is. I don't know much about it. Well, you can study the location of Jerusalem in a very easy way. You can click on this word because it's underlined, and we have that feature turned on where certain words are underlined. And what that means is if the word is underlined, you can click on it and it'll take you straight into the fact book. Remember before I was talking about the fact book where you can look up a person, place, or thing. Well, you can open that up as a separate feature, or you can access it within this passage study layout that we're seeing now. So I'm just going to click the word Jerusalem, look on the left-hand side here, what just happened. It opened up the fact book to Jerusalem. So it starts out with the word, it has an icon, Jerusalem. And you can click that icon, the speaker icon, it'll pronounce it for you. And as you can see, there's just a wealth of information all about Jerusalem. You have maps in case you're like me who struggles with geography, you need all the help you can get. So you have maps that you can click on. It has a little video. It has key passages. So key passages within the whole Bible that reference Jerusalem, also referred to as, meaning in the Greek or in the Hebrew. Now we're in the word study. So Logos will also give you the Greek or the Hebrew in multiple forms of that word and how it's used. It also gives the Aramaic in this case. And also it gives different events. So as you can see, you can scroll down and it'll give you the events in the Bible that involve Jerusalem. Then we have a timeline. Then we can, as I continue to scroll, it has dictionaries. So Logos, when you purchase it, you get the software and you get resources. Okay. And some of those resources, as we've seen Bibles, we talked about commentaries briefly, but it also has dictionaries. So what Logos has done just by me clicking on the fact book for Jerusalem, it gives me dictionary options. I can click on it and it's going to open up that dictionary and give me more information about Jerusalem. As I scroll down, it's going to give me theological journals that reference this location. Now, this is a good place to stop and just say, we have a lot of different levels or different library types, I should say, for logos. And I'm going to go into that just in just a moment. But the higher the library, the more resources are included. So as an example, I have the diamond version that I'm showing you now, which is the pastor's version of logos. So we have some that are higher, some that are a little bit lower. But in this one, it gives you theological journals, which are extremely important in your biblical studies. As I scroll down, I get to sermons. I have sermons by Charles Spurgeon, John Piper, and others. So it tells me if I click on this for Charles Spurgeon as an example, it gives me 3 sermons in which he preached where the main theme was Jerusalem. So again, just at the click of a button, we have all this information available to us. We have books in our library, so it can open up additional books that we already have in that library. We have other fact book, what we call fact book tags. So these are other areas, resources that have been tagged with this study of Jerusalem. Then we have the bookstore where you can purchase additional books. Once you add it to your cart, complete the purchase, then these books now become a part of your Logos library. And as I continue on, as you can see, it's so much information here. And all I did was just click on the word Jerusalem. So it tells me places nearby, other additional topics, other guides for Jerusalem, workflows, meaning it's going to walk me through step by step how to study Jerusalem alone, as if the fact book wasn't enough, right? So it gives you all of this information, which is a kind of a sneak preview of the fact book. So again, how did we get here? We started out by typing in this particular passage, Ecclesiastes. We clicked it, the passage study layout, all this information came up. I was reading the text. I came to the word Jerusalem. I wanted to dive in a little deeper, and I opened up the fact book by clicking on it. Now, let's say, though, we come to a word like futile, which is also, as I mentioned, in verse 2. And I don't know what futile means. All right, it was helpful to bounce back and forth between the different Bibles to see how they handle that text. But let's say I wanted to get a definition. I mentioned Logos has a bunch of dictionaries and whatnot to help you with that. So how would you study the word futile from here? Well, it's simple. I'm going to take my cursor and I'm going to rest it on the word futile and just look on the right-hand side of the screen. And what happens is Logos opens up all those Bible dictionaries I mentioned. It opens up all the encyclopedias, all of my language books. So as you can see here, here's a definition right here. Scroll down, translation. How do other Bible translations handle this particular word or this particular text? Right? Scroll down for the word info. Now I can do full-blown Greek and Hebrew word studies for a particular word, right? In this case, here's the word, and all I have to do is click on this icon,
Hevel,
and it pronounces it for me. So I can from here launch into a full-blown word study, again, Greek, Hebrew, depending on whether or not you're New Testament or Old Testament, and it will guide you through how to study that particular word. So again, how did I get here? I found the word that I needed help with. I rested my cursor on it, and this information screen opened up to give me all of this information. Now, let's go back to studying the text or reading the text and see how Logos can help us with it. So we're in verse 1, and we're just scrolling down. Let's say we're reading. Now, if you notice in the window below it, as I'm scrolling, this window is scrolling as well. So again, this is where my commentaries or my study Bible notes would be. In this case, the CSB study Bible notes. So here, the benefit of that is as you scroll through the text, your commentary follows along with you. So you don't have to bounce out into another window or go to the internet or anything like that. Everything is all right here, and it's all in sync. Okay, so as I read the Bible at the top, my study Bibles or my commentaries will follow along with me. Now let's go back to the left-hand side of the screen at the top. Here are the commentaries. Now, if you're like most people, you probably use maybe 2, 3, maybe 4, 5 max different commentaries. Well, depending on the library that you purchase with Logos, you will have more commentaries with, let's say, Diamond, which is the one that I mentioned. Diamond has, I believe, over 600 and some odd commentaries. Well, if you have that many commentaries, how do you know which one to go to? Again, most of us have, 2, 3, 4, 5 go-to commentaries. Now I'm saying we're going from 5 to 600. Well, Logos helps you with that by helping you to sort through, to identify which commentaries will be best for you in your study. So I'm going to walk you through a couple of different ways it can do that. This first option, as you can see me hovering over this word priority, this means these are the commentaries that I've told Logos, these are the ones I really like. I want these to be at the top of the list. So the first couple are those that you have prioritized in your list. The other ones are the ones that Logos has recommended that you go with to fit what you're studying. So again, you can see it's making it that much easier for you and taking the guesswork out of your Bible study, and Logos does a lot of the heavy lifting for you. Another way you can study this is by author. All right, so if I click author, it's going to list all of my commentaries in alphabetical order by author. So let's say I wanted to look at this one by Daniel Aiken. I can just click the arrow, drops down, it tells me it's the Christ-centered exposition commentary on Ecclesiastes. I can hover over it and give me a little preview, or I can actually click it and you can see it opens up right down here at the bottom. As I mentioned, this is the commentary section, automatically opened up to Ecclesiastes. So it makes it very easy. You find your commentary that you're looking for based on the alphabetical order of the author's name. The other option is pretty unique. It's the denominational option. So as you can see, it says Anglican, Baptist, Catholic, Congregational, Dispensationalism, Lutheran, Messianic, and so forth. So if I wanted to search through commentaries based on the denomination of the author, I can do that. So let's say I wanted to take a look at my Baptist commentaries. I can click that arrow. Here they are. All I have to do is either, again, hover if I want a sneak preview, or I can click it and it'll open up. So this is another tremendous way to study. So whether or not you only want to look at one particular denomination, or you want to kind of see how other denominations handle the text, you can easily do that. The other way is by type. So this is where we're going to search commentaries by their type. So whether or not you want devotional commentaries, exegetical commentaries, expositional, homiletic, etc., all right here at the click of a button, they're there. And the final way is by era. So these commentaries in this section are separated out based on when they were written. So we have contemporary commentaries from 1960 to the present, modern, Reformation, and so on. So I can click, let's say, contemporary, 1960 to the present. Here they are. Again, all I have to do is click on that and they automatically open up to the bottom. All right, so you can see how easy Logos makes it to help you understand the text. And what it's doing is taking out all of the legwork, if you will, of finding the resources and finding the information, and it puts it in one nice, concise location so you can spend more time in the text and less time having to track down where to get the information from. All right, so those are the commentaries. Next, as I scroll down, I have parallel passages. So all of the parallel passages are a click away to help me in my study, in this case of Ecclesiastes. The next thing I have is cross-references. So here are all the cross-references using the treasury of scripture knowledge from Genesis to Revelation. I can hover over a particular verse, or I can click on it. It'll open up in my preferred translation. I also have what's called important passages, which is a very nice feature in that it will comb through your entire library, all of the books in the Bible, and to help you identify, or it actually, Logos has identified it for you, the most important passages throughout the Bible to help you in your study of, in this case, Ecclesiastes. So you can click on that and get more information, diagrams, graphs, can go to fact book, etc. The next section is the important words section. So before, it helped you find the important passages. Now it's identified for you the most important words in your study of Ecclesiastes. So not only does it just list the word, but it gives you the pronunciation of the word.
Hevel.
It gives you again, the Greek, the Hebrew. You can click on it. You can find the instances of where that word is used throughout the entire book. So again, when you are studying the passage, you don't know perhaps what are the words that I should key in on? What are the words I should zero in on the most? Well, again, Logos takes the guesswork out of that for you and gives you this important words list. We have atlases, We have biblical places complete with graphics. So if you want to take this and put it in another document for your lesson, your Sunday school lesson, your small group, your home group, life group, etc., you can take information off of this, copy it and paste it into your lesson. We have biblical people. So family trees are all right here. You know who someone's mom, your dad, uncle, cousin, grandma, and whatnot. All of it's right here in the biblical people section. Now we get to what's called biblical themes. So these are the physical things that are involved in this particular study of the Bible. So again, you can take this information, copy and paste it, and put it in other documents to help you with your study. We have biblical events. We have outlines. Logos gives you a ton of outlines. So if you've ever had to outline a passage before or a book before, you know that takes a lot of time. Well, with Logos, it takes that time away from you in terms of having to use that time to create an outline. It does it for you. So you have not one, not two, not three, not four, but multiple outlines in which you can click open, you can print it, distribute them out, or to just keep them on screen to help you in your study of the Bible. So literary typing, figurative language, so much information, cultural concepts, biblical theology, systematic theologies. Again, so much information, all by the click of a button and by going to the passage guide alone. Now, mind you, this is just one feature that I'm talking about. This passage study layout is just one feature amongst many. And by just using the passage guide layout, we anticipate that you're saving probably 40 hours worth of, again, that legwork that you would have been doing trying to find these resources. And at the click of a button in a split second, all of this information is automatically populated for you. So again, I've shown you one main feature, the passage guide layout. I've shown you the fact book. We've talked a little bit about the word studies, the Greek and Hebrew and so forth. But what I want to do now is transition to another feature within Logos, and it's called the interactive feature. So as if this couldn't be any more interactive than that you're seeing, it can be. And one of the ways is what we call interactives. So I just hit the tools button and it takes and scroll down and gets me to interactive media. So I'm going to show you one of my favorite ones, and it's the weights and measures converter. So again, we're in interactives. These are features that help you interact with the text, helps you understand it a little bit more. It's going to give you some graphics, going to give you some pictures. And I chose this one because if you're like me, you come to a weight or measure in the Bible and you really don't know, because it's not usually a part of your everyday language. I mean, like, when's the last time you said the word shekel at the dinner table? Probably doesn't happen, right? So when you get to the text and you get to a shekel or a talent, what do? Right? If you're like most people, they might skip it or try to infer what the distance or the weight or the measure is, but you don't have to do that with the weights and measures converter. So all you have to do is click it, and then it's a little bit bigger for you. And you see here a big chart, right? A lot of great numbers, conversion charts. That's great. But I think the beauty of the weights and measures converter is up here at the top, where you can put in, let's say in this case, 100 cubits. All right, so I just typed in 100 CUB, 100 cubits, click on it. Logos instantly tells you that 100 cubits is about 10.5 mid-sized sedans, about 4 city buses, 3.5 humpback whales, a little more than 2 semi-trucks, or about the size of a Boeing 757 airline jet. So again, you come to a weight or measure, you're not sure what it is. You open up the weights and measures converter, you type it in, and it gives you a pictorial representation of what that particular weight or measure is. Now, I have given a ton of information, and it's a lot from just a couple of features. But if you are a pastor, let's say, you can write sermons in Logos. Logos has what's called a sermon starter, where you can type in a particular topic or passage, and it will walk you through how to write that sermon. So this is great for not just pastors, but Sunday school teachers. Again, if you are a small group leader, a home group leader, or you do youth ministry and you want to write lessons, or you want to write sermons or messages, you can do that right within Logos. So I could go on forever showing you more and more features, but I just wanted to give you my accordion fingers, a brief overview of what Logos can do. Now, what I want to do is talk to you about briefly some of the different options that you have, because I mentioned that whether or not you are just starting out in the Bible or you're a pastor, you may not know which version you should go with. So let me take a brief moment to show you the different options. Starting on my left, you have the bronze. The bronze is for someone who, you're not a minister, you're not a preacher or a teacher. You just want a good Bible program to help you with some commentaries and navigate things like the passage study layout. You may not be as involved with the Greek and the Hebrew. You just want a good, solid program to start you off. I recommend the bronze. The next one would be the silver. So the silver is what we call the word study library. So once you are ready for diving into the Greek and the Hebrew, and you want some more of those ministerial type features, you get that in the silver. And I highly recommend the silver for anyone who really wants to dive a little deeper, more commentaries, again, Greek, Hebrew, language studies. The silver is the one I would recommend. Then next up will be the gold. The gold is for someone who is in ministry. You know, you are a deacon, you are an associate pastor, a minister, a youth teacher, a small group leader. We would recommend the gold for you. It has resources to help you in that ministry capacity. Again, so more commentaries, more Greek and Hebrew, more of the resources to, again, equip you better to be in that ministry role. Next up is platinum. So if you are in seminary or even are thinking about going to seminary, or you just want to have your studies be more academically based, we recommend the platinum for you. Now, if you are a full-time pastor, we recommend you go with the diamond version of Logos. So again, if you are a full-time pastor, or if you want to just study like one, we recommend the diamond. Now, above that, we have portfolio for those who are more in their doctoral studies or again, a little more advanced academic studies. We recommend portfolio for you. And then finally, the collector's edition. This is the granddaddy of them all, so to speak. So it gives you the best of everything and even more. So collectors would be the one for you. Now, what devices does Logos work on? It works on all devices. So whether or not you have a Mac, you have a PC, you have an iPhone, you have Android, it works on all of those devices. And the beauty of it is that it syncs with all devices. So if you highlight, let's say in one, and open that up on the desktop, let's say, and you've highlighted on your phone, that highlighting is automatically going to be present on that other device. So you can download them on as many devices as you own. So you're not limited. You own the license. It's yours forever. And again, works with all different types of computer platforms. Now, here are the benefits. There's a lot of them. Lifetime license. Again, once you purchase Logos, you own it. You own it for life. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee. We're sure that you would like it, but if for whatever reason it's not working out for you, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. And there's free online training and support. You're probably looking at this saying, man, Chauncey, there's a lot of information out there. I don't know if I can learn all of that on my own. Well, the good thing is you're not on your own. You can go to logos.com/pro and you will become a pro. So with that said, I appreciate my time with you. I look forward to perhaps seeing you again. And with that said, my time is up. I could stay up here forever, but thank you for tuning in to get a brief overview of what Logos 10 can do for you. Have a great day.